Hi everyone, this is Sana and Mona Ali here from the Property Twins. Hope you're having an awesome Saturday or weekend. We just wanted to say a quick hello because it's been quite some time since we've done any lives or been online really.
Yeah, so there's been a lot going on, and a bit of a slow reaction, I guess, on our part. Haven't been really watching the news and didn't know about that 40% crash report because we don't watch the news and we really rarely watch much TV. So there's a lot of negativity around it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of negativity in the media, and and plus with the banks raising the interest rates more recently, but that's just all the banks, and they're doing it because of their funding costs. What you need to really know is that property is a long-term strategy. You're going to be holding the property for the next 10, 20, 30 years time frame. So you need to really plan ahead and not be caught up in what the media is saying or what the hype is, because in our conversations with clients, when we talk to clients as to those who are buying their homes in Sydney, and by the way, there's a lot of clients who are buying their homes in Sydney at this point in time. What are the key things, Sana, that we find?
So I was speaking with someone a week ago, and this lady told me that she really desperately wants to buy her family home. They have 4 children. They are paying $20 a week in rent. The property is very they think the biggest regret is not having sold a property in Sydney 8 years ago, and now they're desperately wanting to get into their home, and the landlord is not really nice. They want to be able to put pictures on the wall. They want their children to be able to run in the backyard and have a home long term. And she said to me that it would be her life's biggest regret if she's not able to buy a home for her family at this point in time. So she doesn't care about where the market is going. People have life circumstances, and the family home is an emotional and family decision.
And given Sydney is an expensive place, whether if you're renting or looking to buy your home, so you might be paying say $40,000 a year in rent. You need to figure out, does it make sense to be doing that for another year, another 2 years, or another 5 years? And there's clients, we've got clients who may be looking to start a family, or there are others who want to buy a place in Sydney and then they're planning on building a property portfolio, and they would like to tick off their home in the first instance, which makes sense given the current lending climate, really.
And I guess what's important is clarity, and you would see in all these examples, people have had clarity on what they really want, and they want to be able to put their roots somewhere or have something for their retirement, so they don't have to rely on the government pension. And on the other hand, there's people, they're like, oh, I'll buy a home, I'll buy an investment property, or I'll buy shares. You've had that example.
I was speaking to someone recently, and they were tossing whether they should buy a home in Sydney or whether they should buy an investment property. And it was really a bit unclear as to why they would do either of those options. And based on all the things that they were telling me, they buying an investment property interstate may make more sense given what we know about the Sydney cycle. So don't get me wrong, Sydney is an awesome place to be buying your home, and a lot of our clients are doing that. But ultimately, what the action that you take needs to be tied into your driver. And
in 20 years, where will the property market be in 20 years? That's a question you need to ask. Where will Australia be as a country? We are a really young country.
And also just, it's a Jim Rohn who says if your why is big enough, your how will become easy. So the key message from us is, don't focus on what the media is saying. Look at your own economy, look at your own goals, your family, your children, your circumstances. Focus on that, and you don't want to be in a situation in 5 years or 10 years down the track that you feel that I wish I took that action.
Yeah. And I think it's understandable, the fears of not having your roots anywhere or relying on the government for retirement. I think those fears are real. However, if you take just one step at a time, that's what we would focus on. That's what we did in our journey, that we bought our first homes and then thought about what's next and after that.
Yeah, that's right. I still remember way back when we bought our first homes, and we developed this interest in the property market, and I'd read the Sydney Morning Herald literally, like, religiously, and following the property related articles and looking at what the media had to say. I didn't really know back then whether
but we didn't follow it.
yeah, well, we didn't follow it, but because what I found really interesting was there was a bit of a roller coaster ride when it came to the media articles. And on one day, the journalist would write that, oh, property prices are crashing, and then the next week they would write, well, there's been an increase. So I didn't really know what to trust. So very early on, I learned that if I had to do something, I didn't want to rely on what the media was saying. And I'm really, really glad that we didn't follow through with that. And we wanted security, we wanted family security, and we wanted it so badly that it didn't matter what the market did. What mattered to us was having a place to call our own. And that's what
and just taking action for what you want. And I think the key thing to remember is, if you have friends influencing your decisions, and we had friends who said, why were you buying property? What's the point? You have one, why would you buy another? The key is they're not paying your bills. They are not living your life. You have to remember what your outcome is going to be. And you have to do it your way and not follow what the herd is doing.
Yeah, it comes down to association as well, and who you associate with, and who your friends are, and who you hang out with, and who influences you. So surround yourself with people who you'd like to be, who'd like to follow, really,
and who would encourage whatever it is that you're wanting
and
to
inspire you and build you up and set high standards. And that's what we do.
Awesome. Well, just wanted to say a quick hi. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And we look forward to speaking very soon again. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.